chapter of the cavalcade is going to be different in that its origin is a lot closer towards the present than any of the previous ones. In fact, when this was published, it was around 1986 and then was republished for the American market in 1987. This is from Electronics Australia. This is called the AM-3 Walkabout. Kind of plain, nothing special looking, no pizzazz certainly, but it's got a very unique circuit. Controls, here's your tuning, standard vernier dial, and this is sort of a volume control. But inside is what makes it special. Along here, this looks like a transistor, but it's not. It is the modern equivalent of a ZN414 chip. In today's terminology, it's an MK484. It's basically a radio on a chip. It's the first three stages of RF and amplification. So this makes this whole thing a fancy TRF set. And then one of these other transistors, I can't remember which one, is an amplifier. So then what is this third one, you ask? Well, this has a very unique feature like some of the Sony Walkmans of the time period. As you notice, there's only one battery of 1.5 volt. Runs this whole thing. Here's a 365 pico tuning capacitor. There's our volume control and the usual stuff, diode and such. But what makes this unique is that there's no power switch. That's because the power switch is indirectly right here. When you plug in a pair of headphones into that jack, it's either this transistor or this one. I can't remember which of the two. It's always watching for that connection, and the minute it sees it, brings this entire circuit into life. This was one of my early homebrew projects I did back in 2000. I'd seen the original article and thought, man, I wouldn't mind building one of those. I knew where I could get MK484s. So I went ahead and ordered some of the parts. Etched my own circuit board, which, well, I won't even show you that. It's not one of the best builds I've ever done, but it does work. And I did this about 2001, and lo and behold, it didn't work. Partly because for those second and third transistors, I used substitutes like NTE, and they just didn't work at all. And so it was one of those deals where I tried and I tried and I tried and I tried, and it just didn't do anything. Shelved until about 6 months ago, because between the time that I built this, 2001, and now 2016, 2017, the internet had matured to a point that even retailers, more and more of them, were now plying their wares online. And so I said to myself, if I'm going to do this, let's do it right. Let's find the original parts, no substitutes, original parts to get this going. I found a GE2 and a GE3, I think is what it was. Something like that. I can't remember. But it were the original parts that were needed. Popped them in. It still didn't play. I'd found out that when my first attempt, I'd blown out the MK484. Popped the new one in, boom, she fired right up to life. And so now, I'm going to give you a quick demonstration. Way up here is my amplifier, or amplified speaker, built in an old Webster Electric Teletalk cabinet. This is used as an intercom station. Has nice wood on it. I've totally repainted it and redid it. And what I've done is I've stuck one of those tiny Radio Shack amplified speakers in here, just using the existing one and putting the guts in. So the only thing I added was an LED for here. These buttons do nothing, they're just for show, but that certainly does. That's what turns the whole thing on. As you can see, then we've got our leads, and the one that we need is going to be this one. So let's bring her down. Probably going to leave it over here. Okay. Should be able to demonstrate it from here. So, here's our lead. Plug it in. Nothing, right? Well, you got to turn the volume up. Now you hear some buzz. Our vernier is set at 0, so let's go ahead and start tuning. There we go. And this has a loop antenna, so as you tune it, there we go. You can null it. See, it disappears. Now it appears here. Let's continue. I'll hold it a little better. There, this is better. Now all the stations run in together just like a TRF. I think that beep 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 noise is probably from the camera. Or actually that's the invisible fence. I've got something that makes that strange noise, that schwalking sound. I have no idea what that is. But that just bleeds all over everything when it kicks in. Let's see if I can bring up the volume a little more. That's about it. Sounds much better on a pair of headphones.
He destroys men. He breaks men. He's got a lot of Yvonne Drago in him.
Now I've got this cranked up and you notice there's a little distortion, so...
So anyway, he got sick during his final weight cut, and his people rushed him to the emergency room. Now you used to wrestle, Paul, so you know about these things.
There we go.
Go wrong as you
Now it sounds good.
I think he might have kidney issues.
Coming up next. This is Fox Sports Radio.
That's about 1260.
Time. Survive and advance mentality.
This is 1310. Now you notice they run into each other. If you do that, it comes in just fine. There's where your selectivity comes in. It's not terribly loud because this is more for headphones, but that amplified speaker gives you an idea of what's going on. Okay, let's go the other way.
Opportunity for you. We're looking for a small...
There's too much distortion. Take that down a little bit. Makes it nice and clear.
How to make money in your spare time using other people's money. Indianapolis is a perfect market for my system, and next week I'm holding a free 2-hour educational workshop where you will learn how to make money flipping homes and how to build long-term wealth with income.
Hey, stick around. Up next is the Leisureman Cops. We'll give you life advice. So go right now to @TheLeisureman on Twitter and send in your life questions. Money, food, beer, women, cars. Women, we'll try to help you there. I don't know.
Yeah, right.
We really did it ourselves.
Definitely better than they were last year, but again, that comes with the asterisk.
Stations are all over the place.
Larry's going to be okay.
And if you had headphones on, the fidelity is phenomenal. I have no idea what that is, that gadget. Sounds like something out of an Alien. If that's the case, as fat as I am, they probably would come down, look for me, and think I'm a butterball and I'm good eating.
To endure for the ages. This lesson reminds us that it is not the paint, but the artist that makes the difference. When your garden,
That's probably $8.90.
environment needs the
Normally when you call this show, you win.
There is WLW. Comes in very clear.
We got a pretty darn good track record on this show.
There's 650 WSM. And we're not going to get much else there, but there you have it. Let me just bring her back up.
And follow the Masters on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Masters.com offers live, full-screen HD video coverage, including...
There you have it.
Contest, plus real-time
From
stories, up-to-the-minute tournament
86, 87.
Masters.com.
I just put it together with a bunch of parts that I happen to have on hand, and a few more that I had to get. I pretty much had all this. I wouldn't call it a junk box special, but certainly spare parts, like this dial, and the knob, and a few other things. But this is the Electronics Australia AM-3, 3 being the transistors and the chip, Walkabout.
Whichever Guinness beer is your favorite, make sure you always enjoy it responsibly. Diageo